What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the video. In this one, we're going to be talking about a stock that is catching a lot of momentum, as you can just see from the chart. I mean, going from $2.29 to right now at $4.81. They're entering a merger with Unity, so it's a pretty big deal. I do believe there's upside potential, and I'll talk about what I'm doing with the stock right now and where I see things headed. We got a lot to talk about in this video, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. The stock we're talking about is ironSource, and the ticker is IS. You can just see, as the MACD is telling us, momentum is definitely catching, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Today is like the first red that we've seen in the candle since the 26th of July. There's a lot of talk about what is happening with the stock. So pretty simply put, to tell you what's going on with Unity and ironSource, they are doing a merger. In all stock transaction values, ironSource at approximately $4.4 billion. Now, ironSource has a market cap of about $5.11 billion. And personally, I still have bullish outlook for the company, and we'll talk about why this is. But the way that they plan on working is transformative combination from Unity and ironSource. ironSource will transform first end-to-end platform for people who create games. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to create the simplest example and put it in your head real quick so we can talk about it. Let's say you create a game and you put it in the metaverse. Well, people start spending money on your game. You start making revenue. You want to see how many people are visiting your game, what percent of these people are spending money on your game, how long do they spend on your game, and all these different things. Well, you need somebody to give you that information to manage that. And that is what ironSource does. And Unity will be where they can list these games and they will collab together to just transform and hopefully expand at faster rates than they could without each other. So who is ironSource? Pretty simply put, ironSource powers the app economy currently, helping mobile content creators prosper with a leading business platform designed to turn any app into a business. They help their app developers and all these different things manage their app, see the revenue, see all the statistics that you need in order to expand and grow your app and know what is going on. Not only do they do that, they also empower telecom operators to create a richer device experience for their customers. So they're working on a ton of different things, but this expansion into working with Unity expands them into gaming and the metaverse and a huge other target market that is going to potentially open up massive market share for them and huge stuff. So let's go ahead and kind of just show you what they look like. I mean, this is the platform, the dashboard that these users are getting. And for app developers, mobile operators, websites, things like that, helping all these creators do incredible things. I mean, we'll just show you, look at this stuff. This is very high quality information. So all of these app developers and web developers and all these different things need this type of information, and ironSource comes in to fulfill that need. I want to show you a few more things before we get into kind of the entire deal. But Unity is about a $50 stock currently as the time I'm making this video, with a market cap of $15.35 billion. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more of what's going on. So the combination for this stock deal, as we saw, was going to be an all-stock deal. ironSource stockholders will get to own about 26.5% of the combined company post-close. This is expected to go down in Unity's fourth quarter of 2022. So a few more months until we see that happen. But let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more. The transaction summary. All stock transaction for $4.4 billion. Pro forma ownership, as we saw, Unity will have about 73.5% ownership and ironSource will have about 26.5%. Each share of ironSource that you own will be exchanged for 0.1089 shares of Unity. And then for Unity, all the management, different things that go into it, conditions and closing. It's not official, subject to shareholder vote at ironSource and both Unity. Expected closing in the fourth quarter of 2022. So pretty highly valuable things. Now I do want to show you kind of how they plan on working real quick. Supersonic, which is ironSource's kind of like advertising, management, all these different things, are going to combine with Unity for gaming creators and all these different things, putting it together, putting players. It's just a huge target market that's very hard to explain, but combining both of the Unity and ironSources together just makes things a lot better and opens up more potential for the both of them, working better as two together as one rather than one and one. That's how they see this, and it's honestly how I see it as well. They're highly profitable. Expectations, $300 million in plus revenue for anticipated annual EBITDA by year 3, and for adjusted EBITDA by 2024, they expect a run rate of $1 billion, which is definitely doable, especially just looking at the companies right now. Share repurchase reduces dilution. They are going to be doing about $2.5 billion in share repurchases. So that's another good thing, for shareholders to see if you don't want to be diluted. And it would be about within 24 months of the transaction closing. So let's just say hypothetically it ends on December 31st of 2022. Until December 31st of 2024, they can deploy this 2.5 billions, and not all at once. They can do it over time. They could do it all at once if they really wanted to. But that is very solid stuff that we like to see for the shareholders. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about ironSource. Right now, they're operating with a profit margin of 10.16%, which is very good. Quarterly revenue growth year over year is 58%, and earnings growth is 34%. Very solid stuff. Sitting on a lot of cash right now, $441 million compared to $40 million in debt. Operating cash flow is also positive. Really solid numbers. Their financials, flawless. Quarterly revenue growth growing quarter over quarter. Cost of revenue is increasing, but profit is still increasing as well. Net income for the past trailing 12 months is $63 million. Looking very good. Now, net income for Q1 of 2022 was lower than Q4 of 2021 and Q3, but we're still sitting on solid numbers that I do really like to see on the stock. Let me show you a few more things. For Unity, this is kind of how they expect things to go ahead and what they expect in the future. Unity expects about $1.35 billion in revenue, and then once you add all of the new company, you'll be adding more revenue and all these different things. So we're looking at some pretty solid numbers, and fully diluted shares outstanding to be about 356 million for all of 2022, and then they're going to be doing the share repurchase program. So a lot of good things are coming into play. Revenue growth for them is about 68% for the quarter, and yearly 22 to 28% is their expectations on the guidance. Now, let's go ahead and talk about ironSource again. Current year estimates on total revenue is $765 million, then 2023 for $962 million, giving growth of about 25%, and earnings per share going from 9 cents on an estimate to 14 cents. So we're looking very good. Now, what do analysts expect on the stock? It's been a little bit controversial recently. As we see, we've had some downgrades recently, especially ever since the announcements of the merger. And I think it's just because, the value that they're seeing in this. But I do believe the merger, if you just want to go ahead and buy Unity shares, because it is what shareholders of ironSource are going to be getting, you definitely still have a huge target market that you're getting into with huge upside potential, at least in my personal opinion. So we're looking at some pretty solid numbers, but average price target is sitting at $7.04, which is 42% above the current price. Definitely very solid numbers. So currently, the way that I am playing the stock is I will buy some shares of ironSource just slightly. I don't plan, like hypothetically, say I was putting 10 grand into the stock. I would not put all 10 grand into it right now. I might go 50-50 and put, out of that 50%, that 5,000, put 2,500 of it into ironSource today. And then with Unity, I'd probably go put about $2,000 into it as well. So I am going to be buying some shares of ironSource and Unity. I believe what they're doing is very highly profitable. And I know that there's been a lot of come down of the metaverse, and it kind of lost its hype and its attention, but I do believe it will come back, especially over the next few years. And this will be something for Unity and ironSource together to capitalize on and bring massive potential into the market. So that is what I believe on this. But if you did enjoy this video, all I ask is you subscribe to the channel and you turn on post notifications so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you for making it to the end of this one. I always like to hear your comments and all that good stuff. So leave a comment below. And check out my Discord server, links in the description down below. Get some free stocks on Webull, link is also in the description down below, and I will see you at the next video.